In 2014, Elizabeth Holmes had what every entrepreneur dreams of, a $9 billion company that would save millions of lives. However, every test, every result, every promise was built on a lie that put real patients in danger. Elizabeth was once called the next Steve Jobs, worth $4.5 billion before turning 30. But here's what nobody told you. Her billion-dollar blood testing company couldn't actually test blood. This is the story of how one woman convinced some of the smartest people in America to invest hundreds of millions into technology that never existed. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy true crime stories like this, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Elizabeth Holmes drops out of Stanford at 19 years old with a vision: revolutionize blood testing. Her pitch was seductive. Imagine running over 200 medical tests with just a single drop of blood from a finger prick. No more needles, no more vials, just one drop. She called her company Theranos, a combination of therapy and diagnosis. What nobody tells you about Silicon Valley is that confidence sells better than competence. Elizabeth had confidence in abundance. She wore black turtlenecks like Steve Jobs. She deepened her voice to sound more authoritative. She claimed her technology would make blood testing accessible to everyone at Walgreens, at your local pharmacy, for just $2.99. Investors ate it up. By 2013, her board included Henry Kissinger, George Shultz, and two former U.S. Secretaries of Defense. Her company was valued at $9 billion. She graced the cover of Forbes, Fortune, and Inquirer magazine. The media called her the next Steve Jobs. President Obama appointed her as a U.S. ambassador for global entrepreneurship. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Behind the magazine covers and the glowing press releases, Theranos had a secret. The technology didn't work. Their proprietary device, called the Edison, was supposed to run hundreds of tests on a single drop of blood, but it couldn't. The results were wildly inaccurate, so inaccurate that Theranos was secretly using traditional blood testing machines from companies like Siemens for the vast majority of tests. What nobody tells you is that Elizabeth knew. Internal emails showed she was aware the technology was failing. Yet she continued to tell investors, partners, and the media that Theranos was running hundreds of tests on their proprietary devices. She told Walgreens they were using Theranos technology in Afghanistan with the U.S. military. This was a lie. The military had rejected their devices after trials showed they didn't work. She told investors their devices were generating $100 million in revenue. The real number was around $100,000. Then people inside Theranos started to notice. Tyler Schultz, grandson of board member George Shultz, was a young employee who saw the inaccurate test results firsthand. He saw quality control failures. He saw patient samples being diluted to make them work with the faulty machines. He raised concerns internally. Elizabeth's response was swift. She had him followed by private investigators. She threatened him with lawsuits. She tried to destroy his credibility. But Tyler did something Elizabeth never expected. He contacted a journalist. October 2015. Wall Street Journal reporter John Carreyou publishes an explosive investigation. Theranos technology doesn't work as claimed. Elizabeth went on CNBC and called it a tabloid story. She appeared on Mad Money with Jim Cramer and insisted the technology was revolutionary. What nobody tells you is that while Elizabeth was defending her company on TV, patients were getting dangerous medical results. One patient received a false positive for HIV. Another was told they were having a miscarriage when they weren't. These weren't just numbers on a balance sheet. These were real people whose health decisions were based on faulty data. Elizabeth Holmes made one critical mistake that sealed her fate. She didn't just oversell her technology. Every entrepreneur does that to some degree. She didn't just fail to deliver on promises. Startups fail all the time. Her biggest mistake was choosing to lie when the truth would have saved her. When investors asked for proof, she fabricated reports. When partners asked for validation, she falsified documents. When regulators came knocking, she stonewalled them. Silicon Valley's fake it till you make it culture has limits. By 2016, federal investigations had begun. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services banned Elizabeth from owning or operating a medical laboratory for 2 years. In 2018, the SEC charged her with massive fraud. She settled, paying a $500,000 fine and giving up control of the company. Theranos shut down completely in September 2018, but the story wasn't over. In 2022, Elizabeth Holmes stood trial in federal court. Prosecutors presented evidence, emails, texts, testimony from former employees. They showed how she had knowingly deceived investors about the technology, about revenue, about partnerships. Her defense was simple. She claimed she believed the technology would eventually work. She blamed her former boyfriend and business partner, Sunny Balwani, for misleading her. The jury didn't buy it. January 2022. Guilty on 4 counts of wire fraud and conspiracy to defraud investors. November 2022. Sentenced to 11 years and 3 months in federal prison. She reported to prison in May 2023. She's currently serving her sentence at a minimum security facility in Texas. So what's the real story here? Elizabeth Holmes didn't just run a failed startup. She built a $9 billion lie that put real patients at risk. She weaponized Silicon Valley's culture of disruption and turned it into a tool for deception. What nobody tells you about the Theranos scandal is this. It wasn't the technology that failed first. It was the ethics. The moment Elizabeth chose to lie about what her machines could do, the moment she fabricated reports for investors, the moment she threatened whistleblowers instead of listening to them, that's when Theranos stopped being a struggling startup and became a fraud. In Silicon Valley, they say move fast and break things. Elizabeth Holmes moved fast. She broke trust. She broke regulations. She broke the lives of employees who tried to tell the truth. Her sentence isn't just about the money she took from billionaire investors. It's about the patients who received false medical results. It's about the culture of deception she created. It's about the line between ambition and fraud and what happens when you cross it. A $9 billion company, 11 years in prison. That's the real cost of a lie. If this story taught you anything about the dark side of Silicon Valley, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Elizabeth Holmes genuinely believed her technology would work? Or was it fraud from the start?